Hello everyone and welcome to Albuquerque, New Mexico, hot air balloon capital of the world and home to New Mexico United, site of tonight's showdown between the black and yellow and the green and blue. Welcome in, my name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. And Chris, you've got New Mexico sitting atop the Western Conference, Hartford currently just outside the playoff picture on the Eastern Conference. Safe to say it's a season going a couple of different ways for these clubs.
Yeah, magnificent day for New Mexico United. Difficult result to take last time out against Monterey Bay, the 1-0 loss. Hartford, the question on everybody's lips is, are they beginning to put a little run together? 2 games undefeated, but before that, a 5-game slide. So interesting to see what happens tonight.
Let's go ahead and jump into it here tonight with our players to watch, brought to you by Toyota. Starting off first with Mukwele Akale for New Mexico. Chris, he came on at the half, was able to really generate some offense for Eric Quill. You can see with the XG, a couple of shots on target. He's got a couple goals in all comps this season. And for Hartford, it's a familiar face in Mishi Galina. Played for Switchbacks for a couple of years. You see what he's capable of when it comes to playmaking. 20 goals, 16 assists, your 2022 USL Championship Player of the Year.
Yeah, Kweli, I mean, he really did give New Mexico United a real spark off the bench last week against Monterey Bay. It was a bit of a stuttering performance in the first half, and his energy and just drive to drag the team further up the field really made an impact, and deservedly in the starting lineup tonight. And he'll be looking to improve a point, but he's been kind of in and out of the team a few times, so maybe trying to nail down a spot. Galina on the other side, like you said, 3 goals, and no stranger to the lab and to New Mexico United fans. Played for Colorado Switchbacks, as he said, Young Player of the Year in 2022 when he scored those 20 goals.
And lots of Switchbacks in this side here tonight, former Switchbacks, as we're going to see. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with lineups and kickoff on the other side of this. The 2024 New Mexico United season brought to you by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I said the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gon' do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Back here at the lab, tonight's match presented by New Mexico Ford Dealers. Save big during New Mexico Ford's summer sell down. And Chris, let's continue along with things here with a look at our starting lineups. Brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Starting off first with Eric Quill's 11. Looks a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. Obviously, you've got some guys out on international duty, some injuries. And so we're going to see Daniel Bruce getting the start alongside Greg Hurst tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether Hurst maybe is in the hole as the 10 just behind Bruce, or whether they are in fact as a front two and just goes maybe straight 4-4-2 tonight. You know, Hartford's troubles in the first half of the games are well documented, so maybe the thought is get at them early here.
And here on the other side for Brendan Burke, not his first trip to the lab either, you're going to see Marcus Epps, who we feel like we've seen Marcus Epps with almost every team that's come here through the lab. It feels like this time donning the green and blue of Hartford Athletic. Mishi Galina, as we said, there's Van Kaziel getting the start here this evening. Scarlett reaching a big milestone here tonight. We'll touch on that a little bit later. So Chris, what are you expecting to see here tonight between these two sides?
I think it's going to be interesting. I think all New Mexico United fans here in attendance tonight will be looking for a fast start from New Mexico to put last week's result to bed. Obviously very disappointing. The 2 PK misses has been what everyone has been talking about all week. The press conference was filled with PK talk as well. So putting that to bed and really starting on the front foot. Again, Hartford are not known for their fast starts, so being able to get out ahead in this one will be what they're looking for, and Hartford will be looking to do exactly the opposite. Stay in the game as long as possible, keep the crowd out of the game, or get the crowd out of the game, quieten them down, and then find a foothold and build from there.
It's the black and yellow versus the green and blue here this evening. Just the third time that these two clubs have faced each other. New Mexico searching for their first win against Hartford, actually. First time they did battle was here at the lab. It was back in October of 2021, Chris, and that was a 2-2 draw. Sergio Rivas on the score sheet that day for New Mexico United, and also one Devin Sandoval as well. It was not the most recent time these two sides faced each other. That actually just last season, it was a 2-1 win for Hartford. Nicky Hernandez on the score sheet. He opened up the scoring, and then Beverly Macangila equalized, and Opino put Hartford ahead just 3 minutes later. So on what is Schools Out night here at the lab, expected to see a large crowd, north of probably 10,000 is what we've been told, as this ball chipped forward, looking for Marcus Epps, and going to be over to New Mexico here.
Yeah, early on, you were asking about, talking about the formation, and Hurst is definitely in the number 10 right now, especially without the ball. So more of a 4-2-3-1 for New Mexico United, which is pretty standard for Coach Quill. With Bruce at the front, it'll be interesting once they get the ball in possession there, whether that becomes a front two or whether that's just what they're going to do for the entire evening here.
So Makwele Akale drawing the foul, and immediately a yellow card. Just a minute and 45 seconds into this one. We'll see if we can get another look at that replay, as our official must have seen something down there that we couldn't.
I mean, it was a committed challenge for sure, and Kwele felt it, definitely. Yeah, it's interesting when we see the replay there, whether it was the reaction of Kwele, maybe that drew the yellow card, or maybe just the referee's going to call a tight one tonight as well. That's a long time to be sitting on a yellow card, though. You can see the touch. It just gets away from Kwele a little bit, and he pops it through his legs. That was a nasty tackle, actually. Studs was showing, 2-footed. He's actually maybe, look, I don't know if that standing foot maybe just went from under him on the turf, but he's maybe a little lucky that wasn't a little more than a yellow card.
So an early yellow card for Van Kaziel, 29-year-old, former Tampa Bay Rowdies man. Also spent some time at Birmingham Legion. San Diego Loyal. Here's Abdi Muhammad, Daniel Bruce! And he just sends that one over the crossbar. And New Mexico looking to be out on the front foot here early.
That was nearly the dream start for both Daniel Bruce and New Mexico United. Just a lovely little ball put in there. And you don't necessarily think about Daniel Bruce, his forte being attacking the aerial crosses, but an acrobatic attempt there, and it got the crowd off onto their feet.
Daniel Bruce, the all-time leader in appearances for New Mexico United, making his 123rd league appearance here tonight. He scored 12 goals in his career. He's the only remaining member of the inaugural squad from 2019. He's been a fan favorite here for years, Chris, and scored plenty of big goals for the club, and that one would have been absolutely no different.
There's definitely a saying about a Brucey banger, and that certainly would have been one if it had nestled in the top corner there. But yeah, you can see that Hartford were trying to maybe keep the ball a little early on, but once New Mexico United have won it, Hartford are really struggling to get it off New Mexico United, and it looks like New Mexico United are in the mood, moving the ball pretty quickly, playing forwards pretty quickly. So maybe Daniel Bruce just took a little knock there. The tackles are flying in, that's for sure.
So look at our officials. Colin Radisav running the show here. So it's a Fiesta Auto free kick for New Mexico. I reckon it might be Micheletto to take this one, Chris. We've seen what Mukwele Akale is capable of from set pieces, though I think this might be a little out of his range to go for goal. Indeed, he tries to put a cross in, looking back post. Micheletto is going to go all the way back to Alex Tambakis. Osu getting the start here again tonight, making his 7th league appearance for the Black and Yellow. Chris, he didn't start off in the lineup. He missed about the first 4 or 5 matches, but since coming in, he's really been able to lock down a spot in this 11. I don't think Daniel Bruce was quite expecting that one to get through there. He thought perhaps Farrell was going to get to it, and I think Farrell might have just lost it in the sunlight there.
Yeah, maybe it is. It's an awkward angle, and just from the stands there's just a little gap in the stands where the sun's able to creep through.
That's going to bring us to our first Topo Chico Hard Seltzer corner kick. Hello, crisp, refreshing taste. Hello, Topo Chico Hard Seltzer. Here's Micheletto, making his 10th start of this season here tonight, and Radisav going to have a word in there with, looks like, Talon Maples, also Van Kaziel. Micheletto plays it short. Hurst goes back to Quelle. Hurst now puts a cross in, sent away by Farrell. It's going to go back to the former Hartford Athletic man, Harry Swartz. Spent a couple of seasons in green and blue. Swartz made 27 appearances for Hartford. Scored 5 goals, was a fan favorite there, and Chris, I think it's safe to say he's a fan favorite here as well.
Yeah, I think he's maybe struggled a little bit injuries-wise, consistency, but, hopefully that's behind him now. And I remember last season, first 4 games started the season absolutely on fire before the injuries started taking their toll a little bit, and, was top scorer for New Mexico United for a while there.
Here's Epps. Going to flick that forward for Mishi Galina. Comes back to Asiedu, back to Epps now, who hits one on the turn and right into the waiting arms of Alex Tambakis. And that's going to give us time for this 5:29 game update, brought to you by the Education Plan. That's New Mexico state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com. Hurst able to pick that one off of Van Kaziel. Leading goal scorer for New Mexico. Squanders possession.
Going back to what you were talking about with Husu in the middle there, started the first 4 games. I think he came in maybe with he was suspended the first game, and then just took him a little while to get his game fitness up, but I just don't see a way that he's not going to be in the starting lineup. He's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet now. Just that disciplined number 6, sitting, holding, allowing the other players to just go and express themselves. And again, he's always available for the ball. Just keeps things ticking over as well. Nothing flashy. So important to the way that this New Mexico United team plays.
Scored his first goal for the club last time out here at the Lab. That was a win over San Antonio on May 25th. This one looking for Brucey. Ribeiro coming out to grab that one. Forward, Van Kaziel. A foot race, and Tony Herbert is going to concede the free kick. That's going to give us time for our Garcia Automotive Group keys to the match for New Mexico. Shake off that loss against Monterey Bay, defend the Lab, and create the first big chance. I think it's safe to say they did that with that Daniel Bruce shot that went just over the bar. We'll quickly look at our Ben Sherman Law injury report. Christian Nava is going to be out long term for New Mexico. What do you think here, Chris?
I think this is it's interesting. There was that little warning shot by Epps earlier on in Hartford. I remember the last game at home where New Mexico United kept getting caught with their outside backs. Obviously, they want their outside backs to go, and they just keep getting played into that space behind. So it was Gloucester that time.
And takes a deflection just in front of Tambakis, and it's going to be a goal kick.
And Tambakis just sold one to the referee there. I think it almost certainly came off a New Mexico United defender there.
That is Eric Quilp, fresh off of his perfect month of May. It's a big month for the club, claiming that top spot in the Western Conference for the time being. Obviously with Sac Republic hot on their heels. Chris, 10 minutes gone by here. What have you seen so far?
It's an interesting game. I think having Hurst in the pocket behind Bruce obviously gives you the legs where he's able to run the channels a little more than maybe what Hurst would. Mexico United seem fairly comfortable on the ball. Hartford getting pulled out their shape just right then, and Micheletto, he's probably the key for New Mexico. Can he pick the lock? In that instance, he can't. Hartford, they get set up with a bank of 4 and a bank of 5, and Galena's really isolated up there, but they've shown on 2-3 occasions already, once they get numbers in the attack, set pieces is obviously going to be a game plan and a danger for them as well. But once they actually get hold of the ball and get it into Galena's feet and get bodies around it, they've shown already that they can be dangerous. Question being asked right now by the Hartford athletic coach there and some of the players is how quickly Van Kaziel got his yellow card, and there's been a few fouls now by New Mexico United players that haven't had the same reaction, so they're just asking the question right now.
Hosu, that's a good look there. Brendan Burke, you mentioned the former Switchbacks coach, made a couple of appearances in the postseason with Switchbacks during his tenure there, and then went on to be an assistant with Houston Dynamo. Also, obviously, no stranger to the Lab here, and there's quite a few former Switchbacks, and so they know, but for some of the other guys that may not, the elevation here in Albuquerque, we are high desert. I think if I did my research correctly, Hartford not necessarily up there when it comes to the elevation. Where we're sitting here in Albuquerque, about a mile up. This one falls to Galena. So you'll look to see a little bit later, and as you can see, the weather conditions, it is a hot one here today, 94 degrees.
That's dropped a little bit because of the cloud cover. It was toasty earlier on when we first got to the stadium and things like that, so I'm sure the players felt that in the warm-up. Even the sun was out, the sun was blaring, and they would have felt that in warm-up as well. So luckily it has started to cool off a little bit, although 94 is still, like you say, toasty.
Epps looking to play this one in, and looking to catch Tambakis off his line.
You can always tell how close a shot is by the reaction of the goalkeeper, and I think it's safe to say that Alex Tambakis there was scrambling. He was not sure about that one at all.
We'll get another look at this. Replays brought to you by TLC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Defend your home with TLC service experts. And Epps just takes his time and he just has it go.
That wasn't far away. You see, it was dipping. It was. If he took that shot from another yard, maybe or so out, that was trouble for sure.
What a touch there from Herbert. We're going to find Swartz. Harry Swartz tonight. He's making his 79th league appearance for New Mexico. You mentioned the previous couple of seasons that he had, Chris, both of them marred by injury. Scored 6 goals still in 2022 and 2023, and so tells you what he's capable of when he is healthy. Quelle looking for Swartz. This goes over the New England native's head.
You see New Mexico United, they're having to maybe play the ball in the air a little bit more, looking for through balls, looking for balls over the top a little more, just because of how disciplined Hartford are right now and their shape. They're compact side to side and front to back as well, so not many pockets for Micheletto, Husu, Hurst. Quelle is drifting into the middle as well to try and find the ball. There's just not a whole lot of space in there for them to work.
There's Maples. Finds Gloucester. See some absences here for New Mexico. Ball's going to go back to Tambakis. Zico Bailey, Dayon Harris, both out on international duty. It was a World Cup qualifying time, and Zico got the start for the Philippines a couple days ago, and Dayon Harris, playing with Antigua, came off the bench. He was a second half sub. They drew 1-1 in their match. Here comes Quelle. And you bring those guys up because they are staples in this lineup.
I mean, Harris, the pace alone, it just brings a different dimension to New Mexico United as well. And obviously Zico Bailey, he's been pretty much a mainstay in the middle of the park there for them as well. So yeah, 2 big misses for them for sure, especially when you're then talking about, Rivas is on the bench, but Nicky Hernandez not in the 18. There's a fair few people who are out right now.
Some score updates there for you. Keeping an eye on looks like the bottom 2 there if you're a New Mexico United supporter. Here's Quelle. Has a go and went into the hands of Ribeiro. The Brazilian. Get another look here on this TLC replay. Quelle still looking to score his first goal from open play.
Yeah, both goals from free kicks so far, but you can see he's technically playing on the right side, but he's drifting inside onto his strong left foot. Both him and Harry Swartz are both playing on the inverted on the opposite side to their strong foot. So, but Quelle's definitely had more of the ball. We haven't really said Swartz's name that often yet, to be fair. So there's a lot of work that's going on down this right-hand side for New Mexico United.
Here's Quelle once again. Got some pace on him. Does Quelle, and it's a volley. Does Swartz right into the goalkeeper's hands once again, but what an opportunity there for New Mexico.
That was a chance, and I'm not sure if you realised number 33, Harry Swartz there with that. He had probably a little bit more time. He probably might have even had time to take a touch, which you wouldn't think inside the 18-yard box. I think Hartford centre-back there. Is it there, Farrell there? He dropped off massively, so Harry could have probably even taken a little cheeky touch there to calm himself, but snatched it a little bit, didn't get the clean connection, but that was another warning shot.
We mentioned Zico Bailey and how much of a staple he's been in this lineup. Chris, Talon Maples has played every minute of league play so far for New Mexico United. He's the only player to do so. Zico Bailey, coming into tonight, had only missed 18 minutes of gameplay for United in the league.
Yeah, and the consistency, that's probably the thing that's, in those important, really important positions, having players who are consistently able to be in there, you know, like Hurst as well. He was in and out of the team last year, and that probably showed in his consistency in front of goal. Getting a run in the team and the confidence of getting a run in the team, and he's proof of what can come from that as well. But yeah, Maples and Herbert, I mean, they'll be looking over their shoulder. They know who's on the bench today as well, so they'll be looking to impress and make sure that they're trying to make Caelan Ryden wait as long as possible before he potentially makes a return to the lineup as well.
When you're talking about Greg Hurst and his performance this year compared to last year, sure, he was good last year, had a couple of good games, really good games, we should say. Scored 4 goals in 34 appearances. Obviously, that's not the type of production you're looking for from your striker, but you look at it this year, he's already surpassed his goal total from last year in a third of the games. Of course, New Mexico's leading scorer, 5 goals on the campaign. And not just 5 goals, but he loves scoring here at the Lab, Chris. He's scored in 3 out of the 4 home matches we've had so far.
It's neat and tidy by New Mexico United there. They're really starting to find a bit of a rhythm here now. One touch in the middle of the park. That's the way that you break down a disciplined, defensive, low block side like what Hartford is right now, and really starting to move the ball.
Quelle, looking back post. Swartz lets that one go out. I'm sure we've got a handful of fans that are curious exactly what's going on here at the Lab and why are the fans cheering so much. This is actually a tradition here at New Mexico United home matches. It's called the Magic Minute, and it starts at the 19-minute, 12-second mark, and it's going to go until the 20-minute, 18-second mark. And during that time, the fans, they celebrate, and it's to commemorate 1912, which was when New Mexico was founded as a state, and 2018, and that's to signify when New Mexico United were born as a club. And on that note, New Mexico United just a couple of days ago, Chris, celebrating their 6th birthday. Truly incredible. Doesn't seem that long ago. Foul there on Makangila. Fiesado free kick. Quelle and Micheletto both standing over this one.
It's a difficult one here because very straight, looking to change the angle.
Quelle chips this one in. Maples and Bruce just held his run. That's exactly how you draw it up, just minus the finish.
That was perfect, but the question on many people's lips is why did Talon Maples not go for goal there? See how he tried to square it to Bruce, and I get that might have been how it was drawn up, but there he had a great opportunity to just pop it in the back of the net. And I mean, yeah, that's definitely something from the training ground. That was well worked as well, and Hartford completely fell for it as well. Lovely little clipped pass in behind there. And yeah, I just feel like Maples could have been a little more selfish there and gone for goal. The keeper there asking why there wasn't an offside. I think it was perfect timing on the run.
Fiesado free kick. Jay Chapman standing over that one. So last week, Hartford picked up their first draw of this season. It was in the Route 6 derby against Rhode Island. And ended 1-1. The Irishman Doyle scoring early in that one. And here's the Scotsman Greg Hurst looking to open the scoring for New Mexico. And Hurst just sends this one over the bar. New Mexico starting to create now, Chris.
Yeah, starting to create, and that was the first time that Greg Hurst has been able to get sprung in behind. Hartford had just committed a few bodies forward, weren't quick in transition, getting back into their defensive shape, and Nearly took advantage, just cut in on his stronger right foot, just couldn't quite get the dip on the shot.
And the Scotsman looking for his 6th of the season. His 4th in 5 home matches. So as I was saying, Hartford, they played in the Route 6 derby. We've got Route 66 here, Chris. And so does that make this Route 6 versus Route 66 here this evening?
It's a lot of sixes.
I'm just here to ask the questions. Here's Van Kazeel. Here's Jordan Scarlett. He saw the ball just moments ago. He's actually reaching his 150th appearance here tonight. It's his 8th season in the USL Championship. He's racked up just under 12,000 minutes in his career. Joined Hartford back in May. He started each match since. Nicoletto finds Gloucester. I haven't said Gloucester's name a ton here this evening as Nicoletto almost connected with Abdi Mohammed there at the back post. And if you're New Mexico, you got to feel like one is probably coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and you can tell the dominance right now with, you just said him, Chris Gloucester there on the left-hand side playing left back for New Mexico United, and how deep he is pushing Asiedo. Right forward, right winger, whatever you want to call him for Hartford, and he's having to play so deep. It's almost like a back five in that moment right there. And that's just the dominance that New Mexico United have got right now. They've got all the territory, all the possession, all the ball.
We're only about halfway through this first half, just a little bit over. Thanks for joining us, whether you're watching on ESPN Plus, or you're watching it back in Hartford locally on MyTV9, or you're watching locally here in New Mexico on Estrella TV, or on KOET 7 after the 10 p.m. news. Welcome in. It is a packed house here at the lab tonight. School's out night. It's New Mexico United versus Hartford Athletic. It's the 3rd time these two clubs doing battle. Looking for Marcus Epps, and this is going to be a goal kick. That's going to give us time to tell you about Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Tony Herbert, the Trinidad and Tobago international, the 26-year-old, has made 1 cap for his country. Making his 9th appearance here tonight. And Gloucester able to keep this one in. That was great hustle shown there. The New Jersey native, and now Greg Hurst able to pull this one back. Bruce goes down, no call. Nicoletto runs into the defender. It falls back to Gloucester, hits the woodwork. Gloucester back to Nicoletto. What a spell here for New Mexico. Gloucester on the through ball, and ultimately Gloucester flagged for offside.
Pick the bones out of that one. So I think there was a penalty shout. I think the crossbar, the goal's still shaking. Gloucester, what an absolute rocket of a shot he hit there as well. But yeah, Daniel Bruce was asking the question. He got a shove in the back. It was like an awkward pass from Greg Hurst, but like you said, the initial effort by Gloucester to keep the ball in. Then Greg Hurst shows the hustle to knock, I think it was Buckmaster off the ball. Comes out to Gloucester, just absolutely screams a shot there. And then New Mexico United, the ref even gets a touch here, gets in on the action as well. trying to get involved, and all amounts to nothing. But what a 30 seconds that was.
Gloucester looking to score his first goal for New Mexico United, and that would have been the way to do it. Hartford just looking to tighten the screws defensively.
Do have the second worst goal differential in the championship right now. Only Miami FC. The Miami FC have worse with -14. So it's certainly something that they've been looking to do, or that they will be looking to improve.
Daniel Bruce unsure of what he did there.
I mean, he did. He pushed him in the back. He can plead his innocence all he wants, but he did. The Farrell there felt the hand in the back and was happy to fall down as well, but there was definitely a push there.
Scarlett. Somehow New Mexico come away with possession here. Here's Quelle. What a touch. Quelle for Hurst. And the block there from Makangila, keeping this match scoreless. New Mexico starting to cook here, Chris.
Makangila absolutely saved the goal there. I'm convinced of it. You can see how big Greg Hurst's eyes get there. The feet of Quelle here. He's done that a few times, drew the yellow card early on, but you can see Greg Hurst, he missed it. I didn't see that. I thought he'd hit it off the back.
You're right.
And Makangila there, but it's almost like he sees it so late. Makangila just jumps right in front of him, and he's maybe not expecting him to miss it completely.
So a hydration break here. Half an hour in, and what an opening 30 minutes, Chris.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, there's been a couple of opportunities early on there for Hartford. You know, there was the set piece, the speculative, let's say, the shot from Epps where it just maybe caught Tambakis off a little bit, and the one that Tambakis gathered as well pretty comfortably from distance. I believe that was Epps as well. Other than that, nothing of note. New Mexico United are racking up the chances now, and the thing that you always want to do is when you're on top, and clearly New Mexico United are on top right now, you have to score. You have to finish those chances. If not, it might come back to bite you. So they'll be thinking, I'm sure that's what the talk is right now, is next one has to go in the back of the net.
Let's have a look at the standings here while we've got a moment. Got some great crowd shots. It is a warm evening here in Albuquerque. And so Western Conference standings, New Mexico coming into today 1 point above their good old friends from out west, Sac Republic. Monterey Bay in third. Monterey Bay, very familiar to both fan bases. Hartford played them 2 weeks ago, beat them 2-1. New Mexico obviously just played them last week, which was a 1-0 loss, actually. And so you see them in third, and some of the usual suspects, San Antonio, Phoenix Rising, switchbacks there just inside the playoffs. And then you see Oakland Roots looking to climb the ladder a little bit, and having a look at the Eastern Conference. It's incredible what Louisville City and Charleston Battery are doing.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just, and consistently as well. Just absolute consistency from those organisations as well, where they're just able to compete year in, year out, you know. And Lou City, obviously a really, really good organisation. And I don't know who was it. Oh, it was NCFC. We're playing out there today as well, and looks like right now 65th minute, and Lou City are 1-0 ahead right now. Yeah. But a shout out to Colorado Switchbacks. See them just creep just above I'm going to say the playoff line. There's still a long way to go, but 8th place. Started the season with 5 losses and a tie, then gone straight on to 5 wins as well, and now on an absolute tear. And currently 1-1 with Memphis, but looking to equal a club record, 6 wins in a row tonight.
So, a few minutes gone by, let the guys rehydrate, and we are right back to it. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst, coming to you here live at the Lab. Welcome to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Here's Epps. It's Abdi Muhammad. A little shake there to get loose from Epps and just deal with the danger momentarily. So Chris, we've got the Constitution State versus the Land of Enchantment here this evening. It's always cool when we get these cross-conference matchups here at the lab. Of course, we do love seeing our friends from out west here every season, but it's always special when we get to welcome in a new audience. Of course, if you're watching from way up in the Northeast, welcome in. Thanks for staying up late with us. It's a little bit of a late kickoff for the East Coast, but I'm sure we've got a good crowd watching. Hurst. And a yellow card shown to Greg Hurst here early on. 35th minute.
I think that's the referee basically because of the early yellow card. It was committed. I think his foot was just a little bit high. Definitely won the ball. Maybe he went over the top of the ball and it was his trailing leg that won the ball. Be interesting to see here, but you can see his front leg is, I don't know. I think maybe the follow through afterwards made it look like his cleats were showing, but you know, bottom of the shoe was showing. But you can see he wins it. He tucks his foot down. It's an interesting one. And maybe the reaction of the player again, and the referee's gone to his pocket. You can see the reaction of the New Mexico United sideline there. I think that was a good 50-50 challenge there, just a really committed challenge.
Zapanonu taking the brunt of that one. He looks to be okay. Joey Apanonu, the 22-year-old former FC Cincinnati man, spent most of his time with their two-team in MLS Next Pro last season. 23 appearances for them. Swartz finds himself on his back, and be another free kick here for New Mexico.
Since the hydration break, the game still has lost some of its rhythm. New Mexico were definitely firing on all cylinders. The hydration break came at the right time for Hartford. I think it allowed them to catch their breath. You were talking earlier about the altitude, and maybe that was playing a factor as well. But you can see they're back to being disciplined. They're basically a back five right now, with Asiedu all the way back, right next to his right back right now.
The ball just cleared away by Farrell. Joe Farrell spent a ton of time out here in the Southwest. Played for Phoenix Rising for 5 seasons. He too knows New Mexico very well. Gloucester ran off the ball there, and possession going back to New Mexico.
You see, it's a couple of times when New Mexico just got a little loose with the passing. It was Micheletto at first there giving the ball away, and then another one right after as well. But Hartford win the ball and just gifting it right back to New Mexico United.
It's Van Kaziel having a little nibble there at Quelle, and
another one. He's got to be careful.
Gloucester. Hosu. The Ivory Coast native Nanan Hosu, acquired via transfer from Loudoun back on February 23rd. And 82 touches in that match against Monterey Bay. That was the second most to Talon Maples. So you can tell just how involved he is.
Yeah, I mean, you can spin any stats the way you want, right? It's how involved they are, or do you want your centre-back and your holding centre-mid having more touches than anyone else on the field? Maybe that's a symptom of what potentially went wrong versus Monterrey Bay, where Monterrey Bay was set up so well to stifle New Mexico United and allowed their more defensive players, more defense-minded players to have a lot of the ball.
There you can see the altitude, 5,100 feet. I think 5,280 is a mile. 5,286. Thank you to our director, Gary, for that. Foul called here against New Mexico.
Greg Hurst there on a yellow card, and he made his feelings very well known to the referee. And I don't know if you were able to catch up on that call with the referee group last week, and they were saying that that's something that they're really trying to stamp down on, and he's got to be really careful. I get the frustration. I think he feels hard done by that. It wasn't a foul. The one that he got a yellow card for, he believes wasn't a foul, so his frustration just bubbling over a little bit.
Chapman just missing with that cross. I believe that was Apononu. Yeah, it was. So 40 minutes gone by here at the lab. Still 0-0 here between New Mexico and Hartford. Fans, the USL on ESPN2 kicks off the summer with a League One showdown as Ford Madison FC taking on South Georgia Tormenta FC. That's on Saturday, June 15th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to check that out then next Saturday. Looking for Galena. Galena looking to turn the corner there on Maples.
Yeah, Maples did just enough there. You can see Galena, it looked like he was just going to be allowed to turn the corner there. He had a great turn of pace, and Maples had to be on his guard and just did enough. Little grabbing of his arms and not allowing him to run freely, and just ran out of room there. But that was a little warning shot. There's been a couple since the hydration break, as I said earlier, where Hartford territorially, they've stopped the rot, and the chances have dried up for New Mexico United. The rhythm's gone from their play, and then Hartford have just had a couple of half chances as well.
Galena mentioned his time in Colorado Springs. Can't forget, he also had a brief spell with LAFC that season that he won the season before he won the Young Player of the Year award with Switchbacks. That was in 2021. Made a couple appearances for the black and gold out there. And, bring that up for obvious reasons here, Chris. New Mexico in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. They'll be taking on no other than LAFC. It's going to be at BMO Stadium July 10th. Here's Quelle. Takes a deflection. Falls to Swartz now. Creeps it in. Bruce has that deflected, and it's going to be a Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick.
LAFC, it's exciting. Are you going, Tyler?
I will be there.
You're going to be there, lucky man.
Yes, sir.
There'll be another Farrell in the building.
Here's Micheletto. Plays this short to Quelle. Back to Micheletto. Deflection, and that was an acrobatic attempt there from Tony Herbert. Hurst going to be called for the foul, and Hurst just drawing the eye of the official. Fans, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Foul called. Talon Maples down for New Mexico. Maples, the Texas native, scored his first goal for the club in Open Cup play. That was in the previous round of the Open Cup against New York City FC 2. The former Dynamo 2 man. He was the captain during his time there. Actually made the MLS Next Pro inaugural Best 11. Captained his side to 10 clean sheets in 2022. Here's Micheletto. Here's Hurst. What a touch from Abdi Mohammed. Bruce now takes a deflection.
There was a suspicion of a handball in there when Bruce just tried to clip the ball just round the corner, but you can see New Mexico United players didn't necessarily stop and appeal for anything.
So into stoppage time we go. We've got 3 minutes of New Mexico Piñon Coffee stoppage time, celebrating 30 years of great coffee. That's great coffee since 1994, Chris. No hurry here from Barrow, and he hears it from the official. So just 3 minutes of stoppage, and so it looks like really just making up for the hydration break.
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot, injuries or anything like that. There's been a couple of little knocks, but nothing too serious. The trainers, knock on wood, neither trainers had to be on the field either, so.
Gloucester. Coletto and Swartz just not on the same page there.
Coach Quill on the sideline is just a picture of frustration right now with, I think, the decision for a goal kick rather than a corner earlier on with Chris Gloucester, and kicked the board over a couple of times in the general direction of Luke Sanford there. And the fourth official, I'm pretty sure his left ear's burning a little bit right now.
Quill really emphasized in that midweek presser, Chris, that they want to dominate the ball. That's the style that he wants his side to play, regardless of who the opponent is. And on comes the training staff.
That's clearly my fault. Spoke that into existence.
Nanan Hosu down for New Mexico. Looks to be okay, but since it was a head injury, that is the director of sports medicine for New Mexico United, Carlos Olivas. Sure, that would probably help anybody right now. Probably nice and warm down there, as we showed you earlier, 94 degrees. Hosu looks to be all right. No way to be allowed back on. So I might just extend our 3 minutes of stoppage time just a little bit there. Scarlett pokes this one forward. Galena heads it out. It's going to be a throw in here. Abdi Muhammad able to track this one down. Looking for Daniel Bruce, just didn't get enough weight behind that pass. Swartz, couple of good touches. Here's Gloucester. Hosu, he's back on. Quelle now. Finds Micheletto. Here's Hurst. Swartz. Micheletto, and it takes a deflection. And that is the first half whistle. 45 minutes in the books, Chris. New Mexico 0, Hartford 0. Your thoughts?
Really entertaining game. I know it's 0-0, but there's been plenty of opportunities, especially for New Mexico United, but Hartford have played their part as well in a really entertaining first half.
0-0 your score, presented by First Financial Credit Union. We'll go ahead, step aside, and we'll be back with some halftime here at the Lab.
There is a place where there are no roads, no conveyances beyond 2 legs or 4. It's a vast swath of land set aside for adventure, for animals, for nature. We're visitors here in America's first designated wilderness, the Gila.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gon' do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gon' do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
It is schools out night here at the Lab, Chris. 0-0 our score between New Mexico United and Hartford Athletic, brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. And we've got plenty to get into during this halftime break, so let's just go ahead and jump right into things here, Chris. Why don't we? Let's have a look at the scores and schedules here from around the league and see some important scores here. For New Mexico, we see a 1-1 draw currently being played between Memphis and Switchbacks. San Antonio looking to avoid defeat there at the hands of FC Tulsa.
Yeah, and another difficult day as well for Rhode Island. They've really struggled. Just the 1 win so far this season. It looks like a comfortable 2-0 win for Detroit City there as well. But Lou City up 2-0 and Switchbacks 1-1. If they can get the win there tonight, then that equals a club record for them with 6 wins on the spin.
And kicking off just a little bit here in just a few minutes, actually, that last one, Monterey Bay, Sacramento Republic. Of course, New Mexico United fans will have a particular interest there. We've got some more action coming out here tonight, and also tomorrow, Oakland Roots, Tampa Bay Rowdies doing battle out in the Bay Area. That one is going to be a good one. It's going to be interesting to see how Tampa Bay does traveling like that. Phoenix Rising hosting Orange County out at 38th and Washington. Lights and Miami FC. That's another late one for an East Coast team. And tomorrow, Birmingham Legion hosting Indy 11. USL Championship action all weekend, Chris. Gotta love it. Let's have a look at these standings here. We had a look earlier during the hydration break. New Mexico United atop the Western Conference here for, I believe, what is the second consecutive week. Sac Republic right behind them with 21 points. And New Mexico sitting with that -1 goal differential, Chris, but important to note there, 2 of their 3 losses came with a margin of 7-0.
Yeah, and you can see that New Mexico United and Monterey Bay, the only 2 teams above the playoff line with a negative goal differential as well, out of either the Eastern Conference or the West. So, yeah, it's a little anomaly this year.
Eastern Conference, things a little bit more bunched up there atop the East with Lou City, Charleston Battery pacing things. Lou City looking to win again today, as we saw where they were just currently leading 2-0 in their match. They just can't stop scoring, it seems like. Indy 11, Tampa Bay Rowdies, some of the usual suspects there atop the East. Hartford Athletic just outside the playoff line, looking to make the postseason for the first time since 2020. Look at our news and notes here. USL on CBS. In addition to a CBS network television broadcast, Oakland Roots will be taking on SAC. Make sure to check that one out. Rowdy's going to be taking them on, as we just noted. SAC, they went unbeaten through their first 11 games. And then New Mexico United, Chris, we're going to be right back here in just about 10 days as the Black and Yellow will be hosting FC Juarez from Liga MX. That is the top flight Mexican division. That is the first time the Black and Yellow will take on an opponent from Liga MX. Make sure to grab your tickets on SeatGeek now. Look at the team of the week. See Wilson Harris leading things. He has been scoring at an incredible clip so far for Lou City this season. Tyler Pasher as well. Florian Velo for Loudon. Tristan Hodge, don't see him in the lineup here this evening, but he is in the team of the week for Hartford for USL Championship Week 13. We'll catch our breath. We'll be back with more halftime here at the Lab.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
What a moment.
Rolls it across, Cheney leaves it, Galindres! Regulation time, Doyle, headed up in front, rebound, scores!
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk up past. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Welcome back to the Lab. It is New Mexico United 0, Hartford Athletic 0. As we are getting our way through halftime here, Chris, let's have a look at how those first 45 minutes unfolded. Why don't we? We are scoreless, but that doesn't mean we're short of action by any means. Muhammad, Daniel Bruce here with these highlights brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. And Daniel Bruce had the first real chance of the match.
Yeah, it was really early on, first 5-6 minutes or so, and just a snapshot, acrobatic, and haven't really mentioned Daniel Bruce too much in the first half, and that'll probably be something that's being talked about in the locker room. But we mentioned that it could have been another Brucey banger, and that was really the story of the first half for New Mexico United. Lots of chances like that where they just couldn't quite find the final piece. Early on, Hartford had a couple of chances as well. That was one from Epps, one from distance, pretty comfortable for Tambakis. There was another one that was less comfortable, and we might see later on as well, but it was shots from distance. Really, Hartford really struggled to generate anything kind of sustained, and this was the speculative effort where you could see Tambakis, his reaction. He wasn't 100% convinced that wasn't going in. He was scrambling a little bit, and Epps just caught him napping a little bit. Pleased to see that one go over the bar.
Alex Tambakis, as you said, you can usually tell how close it is based off of the goalkeeper's reaction, and Tambakis a little frustrated there. But Mukwele Akale with an absolute dart, and Vero, he hasn't really been troubled too much here.
No, he hasn't. But we were talking off air a little bit. It seems like Kwele is going to be the key for New Mexico United going forward in the second half. It's just so quick, his feet. He just moves the ball so quickly onto his left foot and just gets that shot off. And there's been a few times, there was the early yellow card, and there's that little chip, the flight, the pass. That was a huge opportunity there, and I think Fowler Maples there will be, thinking about that one later on, about why didn't he just put his head on it and maybe put it in the back of the net. He tried to square it there to Daniel Bruce, and you see Bruce there, he just gave the sign of just go for goal. So that was another opportunity again. It was just one of those where it was close but no cigar.
And this was just kind of madness for about 10 seconds. Gloucester rattles the woodwork after it looked like Bruce may have drawn a penalty. Then Micheletto goes down there atop the 18. Eventually it's all for naught here, but New Mexico, they were really cooking in this sequence.
Yeah, and that was right before the hydration break. Like you say, there was that little push, little nudge in the back there, and then it comes out to Micheletto, who ends up just taking out a defender. It falls to Chris Gloucester, who just absolutely rifles one across onto the crossbar. Crossbar still shaking now here at halftime, just absolutely cracked it one. But yeah, like you say, all for naught again. It's just another example in, there's just these chances where New Mexico United, whenever they got behind the Hartford Athletic back line, there was chances created, but they just weren't able to get that final piece right.
This is what the numbers look like after 45 minutes. New Mexico with the lion's share of the chances. You see the 8 shots, 2 of them on target. Really, Hartford, they've been able to generate some chances as well. The XG fairly close if you care about that sort of stuff. But this one, it's been a fun watch so far.
It really has. Like I say, it's especially pre-hydration break, it was a really, really entertaining game. Even though it was 0-0, if you just look at it and the stat sheet things, maybe you wouldn't think that, but it has been a really entertaining game, and both teams have played their part. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the second half.
We'll step aside. We'll be back with the second 45 after this.
Three, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gon' do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest, improve it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it.
This dance was born here. It became the legacy of my family. 6 hoops, many forms. Eagle, butterfly, water serpent, Mother Earth. When I dance, it brings me home.
Back here at the lab, joined by about 10,000 of the black and yellow faithful. Another beautiful evening here in the Duke City. Chris is coming out of halftime, 0-0 between New Mexico United and Hartford Athletic. And you can see Daniel Bruce, Greg Hurst. From what we can tell, it doesn't look like there's been any changes made at the break for Eric Quill's men. And so I'll ask you this, Chris, as we head into the second 45, what changes would you make if you were on the New Mexico United touchline?
I think it's get the ball to Kweli Akale as often as possible. He's got the key, I think, tonight to unlock this Hartford defense, which has been pretty stingy so far, and managed to keep New Mexico United just about at arm's length. So I think that, and trying to maybe get Daniel Bruce and Greg Hurst more involved. I think they weren't involved nearly enough. And whether that's because of the partnership, they're not used to playing maybe that close to each other. It's normally one or the other. So maybe working on that chemistry and getting those two on the ball a little bit more.
And for Hartford, looking at just some of the stats here, Mishi Galina needs to get more involved. He had just 9 touches in that first half for the green and blue. And speaking of Hartford, it looks like where there is a change for the visitors. It's going to be Danny Barrera, the veteran, coming into the match. He's replacing Anderson Asiedu. And so just looking to shake things up a little bit here is Brendan Burke.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it at some point during the first half there that Hartford, New Mexico went through a little period of being really careless with the ball, and we're giving the ball away to Hartford, but Hartford were just giving it straight back to them. And I think Asiedu was maybe one of the guys who was guilty, and he was right in front of the bench as well, so it's a little harder to hide the mistakes on that side. So yeah, just try something different, because they have to, if they're going to win this game at the end of the day, they're going to have to gain some territory and create more chances in the second half.
Danny Barrera, the veteran, played a lot of professional soccer, Chris. Spent time in the NASL for a few years, played with Atlanta, and then started his USL Championship journey in 2015, spent 3 seasons with Sac Republic, went out to Fresno for the 2018 season, and since 2019, he's been with Hartford Athletic, been an absolute staple in the lineup. Over 90 appearances, looks like 95 appearances from 21 to 23. The appearances have not been really flowing his way this season. Coming into tonight, just 1 appearance, and so some playing time here for Brendan Burke tonight. Bruce went down, no call.
I have a question. How did Hosu get out of that? He was on the ground, 2 Hartford players on him, and he still manages to connect the pass there.
Flag stays down here, and Tambakis just clears that away from Mishi Galina. I think Maples was under the impression that Galina was offside.
I believe Herbert was just a little slow stepping up and might have played him on there.
You mentioned Galina being somewhat starved for touches, just 9 in that first half. And look at Hartford going forward. The last shot they had taken, it was in the 13th minute.
Yeah, I think that's why we've seen them go to the bench, as early as halftime, just trying to generate something. And New Mexico United, again, I keep talking about the hydration break. I really do feel like that stuttered New Mexico United a little bit, and they struggled coming out of that.
Here's Barrera. The substitute has a go, and he's just wide. But just as you were saying, the substitute immediately coming on, making an impact going forward. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. You can catch that on Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the new SiriusXM app. Panonu pokes this one forward, and it's going to be a goal kick here for Alex Tambakis. 97th league appearance for Tambakis here this evening for New Mexico. Get a look at some of the scores here from around the league. San Antonio down 2-0 to Tulsa late in that one. Still tied 1-1 between Memphis and Switchbacks. Bruce able to get this under control. Here's Quelle. The former South Georgia Tormenta man connecting with Micheletto. Micheletto also spent 3 seasons at South Georgia Tormenta. Maples looking to wall off Galena here. And Galena able to turn the corner, but Hosu seems to be everywhere, Chris.
Yeah, but you can see Galena, he's got that turn of pace. As soon as he's able to turn the corner, he has the pace to get those first 2 steps away. And Maples has to put his arms up because he was dangerous to giving away a really dangerous free kick, or even worse.
Here's Bruce. Finds Hurst. What a save there from Ribeiro, as he keeps the Scotsman from finding his 6th of the campaign.
I thought that had snuck in. It just looked like he just got that wrong. Ribeiro there, just as he was lying, I think he popped it up in the air and it just landed gratefully into his hands there. But another question of offside with Daniel Bruce there, but Hartford just slow getting up again. But New Mexico United going from defense to attack quickly there, and if you're New Mexico United, that's the guy who you want that chance falling to, and Greg Hurst just hits it right down the gut, but you can see just comes off his knee, and it wasn't the cleanest catch in the world, but job done.
Greg Hurst, 5 goals on the campaign. He is New Mexico's leading scorer. Daniel Bruce, 2nd leading scorer for the club this season. He's got 2. You've got a whole bunch of guys with 1 goal. Jacobo Reyes, Deon Harris, Nicky Hernandez, Talon Maples, Marco Micheletto, Sergio Rivas, Quelle Akale, and Nanan Hosu, all tied with 1 goal. Here's Swartz looking to add his name to that long list. Swartz again connects with Bruce. It's the Englishman, Daniel Bruce. Hosu, what a ball for Abdi Mohammed. First flicks it on. Ultimately, it's Ribeiro sliding over to grab it, but looks like New Mexico's starting to get comfortable there in the opposing third.
Yeah, you can see it's very similar to the first half. It kind of comes in waves, right? With the New Mexico United, they kind of take a little bit of time, but there's Akale.
Here's Akale, and just gets underneath that one.
Can you see when he's just dancing in onto his left foot there, you just immediately assume something's going to happen. He's been the spark. Mentioned it last week against Monterey Bay when he came off the bench. He was the spark, and he's been it again tonight. Good things and positive things have been happening every single time he's been on the ball.
Another look on our TLC replay. You know, you said it, Chris. He came off the bench at halftime against Monterey Bay. Was a real spark for Eric Quill. Here's Makangila. Makangila, 54 appearances for Switchbacks over 2021 and 2022. Prior to that, spent one season with San Diego Loyal. It was the shortened 2020 season. Been at Hartford for the last couple of seasons. Scored his first goal for his career, actually, last season. His first and only professional goal. 24-year-old. It's Chapman. Down goes Barrera, and Nicoletto can't believe that call.
Nicoletto's claiming his innocence there, that he got a toe on the ball. I think he did there, but it was clumsy again whenever you're trying to go from behind there. Barrera's obviously experienced enough to feel that contact and draw the foul, essentially. So, you mentioned set pieces in the first half. We're going to be dangerous. Here's a dangerous one for Hartford right now.
Chapman able to talk Barrera off of this one. It's the Canadian, Jade Chapman. Near post, and it looks like a collision of heads, and now we're going to get the training staff called on Swartz, and I believe that's Joe Farrell.
Yeah, immediately both players went down. I'm actually surprised the referee didn't blow his whistle even sooner there. Maybe from his angle, he couldn't see it was a head injury. From our vantage point, it was really obvious what had happened there, and see both of them immediately mid-air grabbing their heads. Hopefully they're all okay.
So while they get checked on, it's going to give us a moment to tell you about the USL Championship being on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. It looks like Farrell. All right, Harry Swartz also back on his feet. Alex Tambakis, we mentioned, making his 97th appearance for the club, donning the captain armband while Kalen Ryden has been out. And speaking of Kalen Ryden, Chris, you look over at the New Mexico United bench, and he's down there in the 7 subs getting a little warm-up going on.
Yeah, it's great to see him back out here. Obviously, I'm sure, as a player, while you're a team player, you want the team to do well. It's really frustrating when you can't contribute other than in the background. And I'm sure he has been. He's a leader on and off the field. So I'm sure he's been that help. I believe in the presser the other day, he was saying that he's still been traveling with the team. So he's still been that guy. But yeah, it'll be amazing for him to be back. I think he called it on ground level, like back in amongst in the locker room, actually in the 18. It's a milestone for him.
Kalen Ryden, he's one of those players that feels like they've been around since the inaugural side in 2019. Joined the club right after in 2020, and so the next time he takes the pitch for the black and yellow in championship play, it's going to be his 110th appearance for the club. This tells you what sort of staple he's been, regardless of who the manager is. Here's Chapman looking to create, plays it forward, and great awareness there from Herbert to let that one roll through.
Yeah, I'd say though, Hartford have definitely had more territory. Maybe not quite the chances yet, but the territory so far has definitely been a little more sustained for them. Because New Mexico United in the first half were pretty much having it their own way for large periods. New Mexico United just struggling to find their feet in the second half, I'd say.
And Hartford looking to do something that they haven't done in quite a while, and that's score the opening goal. They haven't scored first in any of their last 8 matches, Chris, and that includes the U.S. Open Cup. And so Obviously hard to get results when you're starting from behind. But since they brought on Danny Barrera, it's changed. Here's Gloucester. Spent some time with the PSV reserves from 2019 to 2021. He's also got over 60 appearances for the United States Youth national teams. Here's Maples. Looking for Swartz and just not on the same page.
Yeah, just got that one a little bit wrong, but you see Nicoletto just kind of inviting Maples to step into midfield there, and Hartford really disciplined. 4-5-1 essentially without the ball. Really hard to play through, so New Mexico United need to start getting the right tempo on the ball. Little one-touch combinations in midfield, but you can see that they're having to play sideways and backwards a little too often just because of how disciplined Hartford are being right now.
Hartford looking to pick up their second win on the road here this evening. Coming into tonight, just one win, 4 losses in their travels this season. Their lone win on the road, actually coming on opening day down in the old West Texas town of El Paso, Chris. It was a 1-0 win. Since then, it's been tough sledding away from home. And New Mexico, on the flip side, they have a perfect home record coming into tonight. They've taken 12 out of a possible 12 points here at the Lab to start the season. As Mukwele Akale leading the charge. Here's Greg Hurst now. Hurst! And just sends this one over the bar.
Just hear the buzz in the crowd as well when Quelle has the ball at his feet running with it, and it's almost like the crowd sense that something's going to happen whenever he's on the ball as well. But great defending there last second just to put him off. Makangila there just lays it all out on the line, just diving in, just making sure that there's no free shots, and you better believe that Greg Hurst knew he was coming as well, so just rushed the shot a little bit and snatched at it.
Goes back to Scarlett. Epps able to head this down to the Canadian international, Jake Chapman. 3 caps for his country. Scored once. So 60 minutes gone by here, Chris. This was about the time last week that you saw head coach Eric Quill go to the substitutes. So be curious to see if that's what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one for me, just looking at the paper, is Sergio Rivas. I think maybe probably for Daniel Bruce and just a more natural, player in the hole there. Maybe Aquele would move inside and Sergio Rivas on the right, but also in the press conference, Coach Quill, who we can see right there, actually mentioned that Sergio Rivas wasn't fit. So, don't know what's changed since Thursday to today, but obviously he's on the bench, so that would be the one, because there's a lot of defenders on the subs bench. Jackson Dubois, bit of a risk bringing him in right now, but Abu Danladi, that he could be the one as well, right? It's been a while since we've seen him in the 18.
Abu Danladi made his club debut in the U.S. Open Cup, actually. That was back in the 3rd round against Lubbock Matadors. Get a look at this shot from Abdi Mohammed. Was it a shot? Was it a cross? I think that one was a shot there. Yeah, Abu Danladi, that's an interesting one. Would be making his league debut. And, of course, it would actually be his debut here at the Lab, as that U.S. Open Cup game was played at a different site here in the Albuquerque metro area.
You see the coaching staff, they're calling down for someone on the subs bench over there. So I think you're not far wrong that this might be about the time in the next 5 minutes or so here where they start thinking about making a change.
There you can see Eric Quill having a word with his first assistant coach, Luke Sanford. Ball hit long. Here's Epps. Former FC Tulsa man threads the needle here. Looking for Galena at the back post was Chapman. You can see just the look on Talon Maple's face, and he looks exhausted.
Galena is obviously a handful. I mean, you don't score 20 goals in a season if you haven't got something about you. And his pace is giving Maples everything he can handle. And because Hartford are seeing a little bit more of the ball and their attacking players are seeing more of the ball, he's having to do more work. So understandably, he's a little bit more tired in the second half here. But that's good news for Hartford because they really are starting to ask some questions now.
25 minutes plus stoppage time left here at the lab. It's school's out night. Mexico could be onto something. Here's Bruce. Was looking for the run of Harry Swartz in the 18. Epps unable to keep that in place, so it's going to go back to New Mexico. And Epps draws the foul there on Hosu. Epps looks like he might require some attention from the trainer here. There's a look at Coach Quill, and if you were able to glance off just to the right of your screen, you were able to see perhaps what we're speculating is an upcoming substitution. Looks like Avion Flanagan may be preparing to enter this one here. Looks like a couple of subs, or at least one sub, might be coming on for Hartford as well. It's about that time for some fresh legs. And that is going to be Avion Flanagan, as he's going to replace Mukwele Akale. What do you think this does to the lineup, Chris?
It's interesting because, like I say, I mean, I think people are going to think I've got like a little crush on Mukwele here, but I think he's been really, really bright today. So maybe it's a case of he can't do more than 60, 65 minutes, and it's been known before the game even starts that this was a change that was maybe going to have to happen. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
The substitution brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Positive outcomes for every New Mexican. And don't adjust your TV sets. That is a new hairdo there for Avion Flanagan.
You can see Quayle, he is not happy about coming off. He's asking the question. There was a little palms to the sky when he realized his number was the one that was going up.
You can see it still having a word there with Quill at the technical area. So we'll see how Flanagan reshapes this attack. Looks like Flanagan will take up that exact spot there on the right that Quelle was occupying. So it sounds like there's been a yellow card issued to the Hartford bench. It's going to the substitute goalie, Greg Monroe. Yellow card brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Looks like another substitution here. And, you know, we've been talking about a familiar face all evening in Harry Swartz, but How have we not mentioned Romario Williams making his return back here to Albuquerque? He spent a season in black and yellow, played for New Mexico United during 2022, made 10 appearances, scored once for the black and yellow. He's on looking to make a difference here at his old stomping grounds. Here's Flanagan. Osu.
So with Williams coming on, Galina's just moved to that left side, so it's going to be Mohamed and Herbert who are going to have to deal with them for the remainder of the way here.
Flanagan looking to redirect this one back into the middle, but it's going to be a goal kick here for Hartford. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Abdi Mohamed and Tony Herbert deal with the pace of Nishi Galina, especially with a big body like Romario Williams going down the middle.
For the life of me, I've been trying to think about Williams last time he was in town. He scored, obviously. Who was it? I can't remember who it was, though. I can't remember if it was last season.
Here's Barrera. Moves this over. Here's Chapman. "70 minutes gone by here at the lab. Scoreless between the black and yellow and the green and blue. Herbert looking to find the run of Abdi Mohamed. Shoved down is Mohamed. And we're going to see a yellow card issued. And it's Reese Buckmaster going into the official's book. He got two hands in the back there of Abdi Mohamed.
I do love when players do this. Daniel Bruce did it in the first half as well, claiming I did nothing as he's going in and just shoves two hands straight in the back. Didn't catch it on that angle. That was really close to being inside the area. I think it was just outside though.
And there's maybe a sliver of green you can see there on your screen between where the ball is being placed by Hurst and penalty box. Now the official comes in, moves him back a little bit. And honestly, this probably benefits Greg Hurst a little bit, getting a little bit of space.
Yeah, a little bit further back so you can get it up and over the wall and get it to dip as well, whether he's going to go for goal. Probably suits a left footer better from that side of the pitch, but Hurst has definitely placed this down with some authority.
Here's the Scotsman, Greg Hurst. Scored in 3 out of the 4 home matches so far, looking to make it 4 for 5 tonight. Here's Hurst. Hurst just sends this one over the bar.
I think there's certain sections of the crowd think that actually went in the back of the net. A little optical illusion from behind the opposite goal.
Get another look here.
See, he just tries to catch him at his near post. See, keeper's thinking that maybe it was a cross or going far post, so it was on, just didn't quite get it right.
Here's Gloucester looking to find Daniel Bruce. Bruce making Scarlett work for it. And Swartz It's the foul. Knew exactly what he was doing there to Harry Swartz.
I was going to say that was actually a good foul there. You could see Hurst and Bruce. Bruce was stretching Hartford back line really, really well there, running the channels. His willingness to run those channels. And Hurst came steaming in, and then Schwartz came steaming in. They just got a little bit wrong, so he just committed the foul just to stop any kind of counter-attack.
Looking for Galina. Header won by Abdi Mohammed. A.O. Flanagan. Here's Gloucester now. Swartz, former Hartford athletic man. Gloucester able to stay on side. Over to Harry Swartz now. Here's Hosu. He'll hit it from that distance.
You see, he thought about it. Split second there, he thought about it, and then just rolled the ball out of Flanagan. Mexico United being very patient here.
Hurst finds Swartz. Swartz goes down, and what a challenge that was from Apanonu. Had to get it right, and he absolutely did.
Yeah, great tackle there. Had to get his angles right. Had to make sure he got the ball cleanly, or else it would have been a PK.
It's going to bring us to this Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick. So we get another look there. Apanonu.
See, Swartz, the touch just didn't get the touch out from under his feet a little quick enough, gave him a chance as well, but really patient play by New Mexico United. They're just probing, looking for weakness, and the first bit of really like sustained pressure in and around the 18-yard box, around Hartford's 18-yard box there.
Sounds like there's been another yellow card issued to the Hartford bench. You can see they're getting fired up down there. Double change coming up here for the green and blue. Looks like it's going to be Jang and Musha Galusa. Mamadou Jang, it's his first season as a professional, the 20-year-old out of Senegal. Musha Galusa, former San Diego Loyal man, spent a lot of time with Louisville City as well over previous seasons. So you're going to see Mishi Galina and Dan Kazil replaced. $10,000 strong here at the lab tonight. Hoping to see their side continue their perfect home record.
Just increased their average height by about 4 foot as well with those two subs. They're huge guys.
That was Musha Galusa putting the pressure on Maples. And it's going to be a Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick. Danny Barrera over to do the duties. So we might be seeing another change coming up soon here for Eric Quill. It'll be after at least this corner, though. Here's Barrera. Looking near post. Looks out to Chapman. And Chapman sends that one into the crowd. So we knew there were at least 10,000 here tonight. Official numbers coming in here presented by New Mexico Mutual. 10,000 884 on hand here tonight to witness this cross-conference battle between New Mexico United and Hartford Athletic. Again, thanks for hanging out with us. Some Saturday night USL Championship action, Week 14 of the championship season. Here's Harry Swartz. Sounds like time on the pitch limited here for Greg Hurst. He's going to be subbed off here fairly soon, and doesn't even look like he's going to get an attempt before that happens. Now, Hartford looking to ask some questions. Here's Chapman. Here goes Farrell. Bit of a collision between he and Flanagan. No whistle. So we're hearing that Arturo Astorga will be coming on here momentarily to replace Greg Hurst, whenever that may be. Of course, we mentioned it, and no dead ball.
I did see Astorga, being called back across. I assumed it would be for Harry Schwartz. Seems like he's coming back from an injury, so there hasn't been involved too much really in the second half here. But you called it.
And for Astorga, making his 10th appearance here of the season, a graduate of the New Mexico United U23s. He's the first player to come through the U23 pipeline into the first team. Did so towards the end of last season, really nailed down his spot as the right back for Eric Quill, and since the addition of Abdi Mohammed, playing time has become a little more scarce. Good to see the El Paso native getting some minutes here this evening. Here's Barrera.
Great defending by Chris Gloucester there.
There's Jang looking to create some problems, and Jang back on the ball. Amadou Jang, as mentioned, a 20-year-old out of Senegal. Here's the other substitute he came on with just minutes ago, Enoch Mushagalusa. Mushagalusa already has 1 goal this season. Scored twice last year for Luce City. And Mushagalusa able to draw the foul.
Just about to say, last 5 minutes or so, Hartford look the fresher team right now. We're talking about the elevation maybe affecting them, but they are growing in strength, and now we're in the the dying minutes of the game. Last 10 minutes or so, and they're asking all the questions right now. New Mexico United have really lost their way.
So Fiesta Auto free kick in a dangerous position here. Jay Chapman. Chapman gives a signal and sends that one well over everybody. problem for Tambakis there. Coming into tonight's match, Tambakis in 10 appearances, 25 saves, couple of clean sheets. He's conceded 12. Here's Herbert. Herbert once again. Here's Flanagan. Nicoletto. Hosu. Hosu finds Abi Muhammad, and it's going to be a Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick.
Hosu's like single-handedly, he's done a couple of those little dribbles where he's just asking them most of the questions now and kind of dragging New Mexico United closer and closer to Hartford's goal.
So Nicoletto over to deliver on this corner. Goes back post, and looks like it was headed away by Farrell. No, they're going to say it was Swartz that got a touch on it. Swartz trying to plead his case to the official.
Yeah, I don't think Schwartz was anywhere near the ball, to be honest. I will say we are about 125 yards away from it, though.
Fair enough. It's a throw in here for Buckmaster. This one falls to Bruce. Nicoletto now. Nicoletto dispossessed momentarily. Astorga finds Gloucester. Here's Nicoletto. Nicoletto. And it gets a deflection. And just like that, New Mexico have taken the lead. 87th minute. It's Daniel Bruce scoring his third of the campaign.
I don't think we can class that one as a Brucey banger, but no one cares in this building right now, least of all the players. Look at the smiles. They know it's been a bit of a weird game and they haven't really been firing on all cylinders. You love to see it. The biggest celebration is Greg Hurst as well, the strike partner. But just really a shot from nothing. Nicoletto pops out to him after Astorga picks up the ball. Decides to just, why not? Why not take a shot? And the deflection of Daniel Bruce just takes it past the despairing goalkeeper there. Can't do anything about it. Completely wrong-footed. You see there, just a little nit, and he's got it covered. No issues whatsoever. Completely changes the flight of the ball. 1-0 New Mexico.
And that is likely the final touch of the evening for Daniel Bruce. We were told he was going to be subbed off right before that happened. Looks like the subs might wait for just a moment as Daniel Bruce has broken the deadlock here at the Lab in the 87th minute. And New Mexico's favorite Englishman may have just retained the perfect home record. No offense to you, my friends.
I resent that.
To be fair, you're American now.
It's a good point.
Daniel Bruce scored his 2 goals earlier this season against Las Vegas Lights. It was a brace over the course of about 17 minutes. So that his first goal since. And now New Mexico with some work to do defensively. Prior to that goal, Hartford were asking plenty of questions. And now New Mexico looking to see this one out. Corner comes in, falls to Makangila. That was fairly close there for Tambakis.
Yeah, it's almost like Tambakis was shocked that it made it all the way through. It was a header from so far out, but the direction, I think that was just sneaking inside the post.
Yeah, we'll get another look here. Chapman plays this one in, and it was Makangila. He was just inside the 18-yard box. Mario Williams looking to equalize against his former club, and instead catches his former teammate with an errant boot.
Yeah, you can see there's been a positive reaction though by Hartford. They're definitely stung by that goal, that Daniel Bruce goal there, and maybe being a little bit more direct and just looking to pop the ball in behind. And New Mexico were just caught flat-footed there a little bit. It was a foot race and Tambakis won it. I'm not sure how much contact there was between Williams and Tambakis, if I'm honest, or if Tambakis has just taken the sting out of it. But also Tambakis has had issues with his hand in the past. I certainly hope that that's not the case here.
And as we get another look here on this TLC replay, the prior angle, it looked like there was some contact made. And you said it, Chris. There was a spell at the end of last season, actually, where Tambakis missed time and New Mexico had to bring in Andrew Thomas on loan, who has since started making some appearances for Seattle Sounders.
He's been having a great season.
Yeah. So into stoppage time we go. There's going to be 4 minutes of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time, celebrating 30 years of great coffee since 1994. There's Mushagalusa. Mushagalusa able to shake free and close down by 3 members of the black and yellow. Osu, Astorga, Flanagan all in there on the action. Another Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick coming up. Into second half stoppage. That one dealt with, and another whistle here.
That was Williams again, just late on Tambakis, just giving him the treatment at the end of the game here. Great goalkeeping by Tambakis though. That's what you want to see as a group of defenders, as a defensive unit, taking control of your 6-yard box and clearing the danger really, really well.
See some frustration there. Looks like Scarlett taking some exception. Looks like perhaps a false yellow card that might have made its way onto the pitch.
I think unfortunately there was something thrown from the crowd. I think Maples actually genuinely thought it was the referee's yellow card.
So at least 2 more minutes of stoppage time here. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a little added on for the argument between Scarlett and some of the New Mexico United players. It sounds like Mushagalusa now going in the official's book. That's a Ferguson Law Firm yellow card. By my count, it is the 6th yellow card that has been handed out tonight.
Yeah, it has been a little chippy at times. I think, it really set the stall. What was it? A minute, 2 minutes in was the first yellow card, and really set the stall, and then went a long period without, and then there's been a few tackles flying in as the legs get a little heavier towards the end of the game here.
Mexico just looking to chip away at that stoppage time down in the corner, and Hartford going to get an opportunity here. Up next for Hartford, it's back home as they'll host Pittsburgh Riverhounds, then Tampa Bay Rowdies. It doesn't get any easier from there as they've got a trip out west to Sac Republic. They'll be taking them on at Heart Health Park. Down goes Daniel Bruce, no foul. Englishman hops right back up. And for New Mexico next weekend, trip out to Memphis. They'll take on the Beale Street Boys. And as we mentioned earlier, the international friendly against FC Juarez June 19th. And then right after that, it's Pride on the Pitch night as Switchbacks will be here at the Lab June 22nd. Plenty of action coming your way as things really starting to heat up as we get into the summer months, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting. I would say it all play out, but what a reaction from New Mexico United here. The win after last week's disappointment and coming back home and maintaining that undefeated and that winning streak at home as well. Huge win for the black and yellow.
1-0 your final score here tonight. It's the first ever victory over Hartford Athletic for New Mexico United in their third attempt. And as you alluded to, Chris, keeping the perfect home record intact. And regardless of the result in Sacramento tonight, New Mexico will wake up in first place in the West once again.
Yeah, it is. It's everyone gives their best, and Hartford certainly gave New Mexico United all they could handle tonight.
That is our man of the match, our play of the match, Daniel Bruce, with his 87th minute goal, his third of the season. Man of the match brought to you by Pepsi. And of course, it was the Greek goalkeeper, Alex Tambakis. Your save of the match brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Had a monster save there in the 88th minute with Romario Williams closing down on him. And New Mexico United victorious once again as they pick up their 8th win on this season. We'll go ahead and step aside. We'll be back to put a bow on things.
Without three, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gon' do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest and prove it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it.
With more ways to win, whatever game you play, Sandia Resort Casino. Now more than ever. Close to home, far from ordinary.
Full time here at the Lab. New Mexico remains perfect in friendly confines. A 1-0 victory tonight over Hartford Athletic. Their first victory over Hartford Athletic in their third attempt. Let's have a look at the full-time highlights brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. And Greg Hurst came out firing tonight, Chris.
Yeah, and you can see just the defensive play there in midfield. And it just put him off, just rushed the shot, you know. And it was that was a case of what? that happened to Greg Hurst a few times tonight. He just couldn't quite get it right. That was just a speculative effort from Mohamed, from drifting forward from right back there. And, it was a shot like that led to the goal, which we'll see in a bit. Just a shot from basically nothing. But it was definitely more Hartford in the second half compared to the first half. But New Mexico United definitely had enough chances to say that they deserved to win this game.
And Greg Hurst, he came close plenty of times. Unfortunately for him tonight, unable to find the back of the net. Obviously, he'll take the result, but for a striker that has a lot of confidence, you sure saw it on display tonight. And this was the one that broke the deadlock. Just the flick there at the end from Daniel Bruce. What a play.
Yeah, and you can see Micheletto just comes out to him. He just thinks, why not? So he just takes a shot. There's a bunch of bodies between him and the goal. He's hoping to maybe catch the keeper unsighted and looking for New Mexico United, because it looks like Hibaro has the shot covered. It's the deflection, just the fox in the box. Daniel Bruce just gets a little toe on it and deflects it past him.
That the third goal of the campaign for the Englishman. He's the second leading scorer for New Mexico United this season, but New Mexico still had work to do here late, Chris. This header from Makangila somehow finds its way through the sea of bodies.
And you can see by Tambak's reaction there, he's almost expecting a touch on the way through. That's why he reacts to it so late. I can't see who that is. Is it Herbert? I think maybe sticks a leg out at it, and Tambakis is anticipating the touch, and when it doesn't happen, that's why he reacts so late to the effort. But that was a lot closer than New Mexico United would have liked.
New Mexico able to work their way out with 3 points here tonight, but of course this play is going to be in the mind of New Mexico United supporters as Tambakis looks to have taken a knock there on his hand from his former teammate Romario Williams. We saw him after full time holding on to that hand. We'll see how things play out, but for now, all smiles around the lab as New Mexico victorious once again. Let's go ahead and have a look at the full-time stats before we get out of here. What do these tell you here, Chris?
I think New Mexico United had plenty of the ball. It was a lot more even in the second half, but shots, look how many shots Hartford managed in the second half. Herrera coming on at halftime really did get them about 20-25 yards higher up the field. So it was a game that, maybe on paper New Mexico United were expected to win, and yes, they have won, but they certainly didn't have it all their own way tonight.
That is how things played out. I'd like to thank you for joining us here at the lab. A ton of fun here this evening. We'll be back in just about a week and a half. Get your tickets on SeatGeek if you haven't yet. FC Juarez coming to town on June 19th. That's going to do it for us here tonight. For my color commentator, Chris Hurst, appreciate you as always, my friend. For our director, Gary Williams, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.